Good morning, friends. Because of COVID, we are starting this chemical engineering thermodynamics course online. So we have recorded some lectures, and those are for you. So we'll start with solution thermodynamics. So this will be very important subject. So in this, the topics that will be studied: scope of solution thermodynamics in chemical engineering, then fundamental property relation, how we can develop this fundamental property relation for homogeneous system as well as species in solution for mixture where composition change is taking place. Then we have to see another property which is very important for for solution thermodynamics, that is chemical potential, and which can be considered as the criteria for phase equilibria. How we can derive this, that we will consider. Then when you are talking about solution thermodynamics, always we are, that means simple example if you have, that is partial pressure, right? So that means the contribution of that particular species in that particular gas mixture, or you can say liquid solution. So here partial properties, that will be very important aspect again. So here partial molar properties, so that is another one. Then we have to see the gas mixtures, and for gas mixtures, how these partial molar properties can be calculated, and what are the different relations, and how these are useful in practical application. Then fugacity and fugacity coefficient for pure species as well as species in solution. Fugacity, that concept we will study in this, and no doubt this will be for pure species as well as for species in solution. And when you are talking about species in solution, always we have to see, or that fugacity coefficient, it is always related to residual properties what you have studied in unit 1. So that residual property itself tells about the deviation from ideality. So that is again very important aspect that we have to study, and how it will have impact on different properties, and then different chemical processes. Ideal solution, that is you can say benchmark for which follows Raoult's law. Many times we are talking about this, which is well defined by Lewis Randall rule, that we have to derive, we have to see that. And then excess property. Excess property is nothing but your again it is a deviation from ideal solution. That means actual property minus the properties at property value for ideal solution. That difference we have to consider, and from that, no doubt, next parameter which is very important for different solutions, liquid solution, that is activity coefficient. So this is again nothing but deviation from ideality. So it will tell about uh, the fugacity value for actual coefficient, actual solution, and actual species, and ideal solution. That we'll see here. Then excess Gibbs energy already. This is again very important because in many applications, that is phase equilibria. If you see in phase equilibria, we have that means VLE calculations, that is vapor liquid equilibrium calculation, and in this we have to see, that means you can say how these calculations can be done, that is bubble P calculation, bubble point, that is then dew point calculations, and from that generation of, you can say, data, that is y versus x data can be done. And that data is very useful in mass transfer applications, where we have seen in mass transfer always we are plotting y versus x, and from that that equilibrium curve, then operating line, and then area between those, that can be utilized for calculation of number of stages, which is nothing but your process design for mass transfer equipment. So there, this is very important, that activity coefficient. So in excess property, no doubt it will relate excess Gibbs energy and activity coefficient. So this is very important again. So then when you are talking about activity coefficient, so how it will be calculated? There are many relations put in literature. First of all, you can say Margol's equation, where linear model is considered, then Van Laar, then some you can say local composition models. Local composition models are nothing but you can say you can have first one is uh, NRTL, that is non-random two liquid, and then you can say UNIQUAC, universal quasi-chemical, then UNIFAC, universal functional activity coefficient. So then Wilson, these are very important models which are essential for the estimation of activity coefficient, and once you calculate this activity coefficient, then you can add those in simple Raoult's law. That Raoult's law is combination of nothing but ideal gas and ideal solution. So ideal solution, here we are doing some correction on that. We are adding activity coefficient, that is nothing but your non-ideal solution. So it is called as modified Raoult's law. So modified Raoult's law can be used for you can say bubble P and du P calculation. And generally in chemical engineering or chemical engineering thermodynamics, you will have different combinations. You can have that ideal gas and ideal solution. That combination is nothing but Raoult's law. Then you can have on right hand side non-ideal solution, that is non-ideal solution, and ideal gas, which is modified Raoult's law. Then the fugacity coefficient, which will take correction in you can say gaseous phase, that means you can say non-ideal gas mixture and ideal solution. And then both are non-ideal, that is ideal solution, ideal gas, no sorry, non-ideal solution and non-ideal gas. So these are the different combinations. So fugacity coefficient and activity coefficient plays very important role in VLE calculations, vapor liquid calculations, as well as you can say liquid liquid equilibrium calculations, right? So this is very important aspect. So these models we need to study, and then finally we have to see property change of mixing, because in solution thermodynamics it is related to change in composition, change in temperature, change in pressure, and we have to see the effect of all these three parameters. But in homogeneous solution we have seen uh, it is only a change in temperature and pressure. That effect we have seen on different properties, thermodynamic properties. But here in solution thermodynamics, we have to see the change in composition also. So these are the different topics that will be studied. Then next comes scope of solution thermodynamics. So here we have to see, you can say, as we have studied in homogeneous fluids, where we have kept composition is constant, and there we have studied the effect of temperature and pressure on different uh, thermodynamic properties, right? Such as Gibbs energy, enthalpy, entropy, you can say internal energy calculation. So many are there. But when you are talking about constant composition, it is not the case in chemical engineering. So in chemical engineering, no doubt, we have different mixing processes available, where change in composition is there. Then we have separation processes. It is very important. Mass transfer operations, where separation of different components that is taking place. So in this case, we will find there is a change in composition for different phases. Phases means you can say vapor phase, liquid phase, right? Where in that particular phase, there is a constant composition, or there is no change in properties, that is nothing but your phase. Then transfer of species from one phase to another phase, such as vapor liquid system, right? You can consider closed container, and in that liquid is present, and you start heating, or you can say without heating also some molecule, liquid molecule will go in vapor phase, and this vapor phase is also there, liquid phase is also there. No doubt in that container vapor phase is open system, because some molecule from vapor phase can go to the liquid phase. From liquid phase, some molecule will be added in vapor phase. So there is continuous transfer, it will occur. So this is nothing but an open system where mass transfer is taking place, or you can say transfer of molecule is taking place, as well as energy transfer is there. So it is open system. So here you will find there is a change in composition in vapor phase as well as in liquid phase. But if you consider total container, in that particular total container, you will find it is closed one. Only energy can transfer, but mass will not be transferred. Already you must have studied closed and open system. Then chemical reaction. When chemical reaction takes place, no doubt you will find there is a disappearance of reactants and formation of products will take place. And in this case, no doubt there is a change in composition of reactant as well as product is taking place. And this is very important example of, you can say, solution thermodynamics. Then there are various thermodynamic properties, and no doubt these properties are, you can say, strong function of temperature, then pressure. No doubt we have seen this enthalpy changes with temperature. Uh, then volume changes with pressure. We have seen PVT behavior, pressure, volume, temperature behavior, right? And no doubt here we have to see the change in composition. So change in composition will affect your thermodynamic properties. And how we can start then? So here we have to see the fundamental property relations that we have studied for homogeneous fluid of constant composition. Here we have seen only effect of temperature and pressure, and from that uh, we have seen these equations, that is du is equal to TdS minus PdV, then dH is equal to TdS plus VdP, then dA is equal to minus PdV minus SdT, and dG is equal to VdP minus SdT. So these relations already we have used or can be used for deriving Maxwell relations, which will tell the relation between different thermodynamic properties. But this is for constant compositions. And as discussed in previous slide, we are always chemical engineering processes are always dealing with change in compositions like mixing or separation processes, then transfer of species from one phase to other. Already I'm repeating this. Chemical reactions which are taking place. Here we are dealing with change in composition. Then properties of such systems depends on, you can say, temperature, pressure, and composition. There are several examples, practically multi-component petroleum uh, feedstock, and if you want to separate that, right, and it is inclusive of gases and liquid, and if you want to separate that, so no doubt you will find there is a change in composition. Then chemical manufacturing processes where chemical reactions are taking place, different processes you can consider where it will deal with reaction, separation, right, so that you will get final pure product at the end, and multi-component separation. So these are the different examples that we have in chemical engineering. And no doubt if you want to study the chemical engineering, so best example is your human body. So that is starting with your mechanical operation, right? So teeth that will use for size reduction, then it will go to the stomach, that is mixed flow reactor, where reaction, biochemical reaction is taking place, then plug flow reactor, no doubt there is a waste treatment available. Then we have strong control mind, that brain, which has better control schemes, right, it can control everything. Then we have very good excellent piping system in your body, so which is nothing but it will run for maybe 100 years. And excellent pump system it is available, that is heart. So it is running for 100 years, no doubt. If efficiency is reduced, still it will work, no problem. Then your kidney, which is membrane separation process, where so that is again very useful, which will run for, and now you can say household filters, you can replace that with another filter after so many days. But membrane filters, whatever kidneys we have, so that will run for 100 years, no doubt. So that will be very good separation process what we have. So like this, so many aspects are there. If you see at human body, you will find complete chemical engineering is available there. So no doubt again coming back to this particular topic, We have seen this change in composition affects thermodynamic properties, and that is nothing but you can say that comes under solution thermodynamics. So in view of this, we have to develop different theoretical as well as fundamental uh, relations for application to, we can say, gas mixture as well as to liquid solutions. So in view of that, in these we have different topics related to gas mixtures, liquid solutions. So we'll be talking about fugacity and activity coefficient. So which will deal about non-ideality in gases as well as non-ideality in liquids. So that will take care about this, and based on that, many design of equipments is possible. This solution thermodynamic study will provide, you can say, partial properties of species that can be calculated. Then knowledge of fundamental properties like chemical potential, which has a great application in deciding chemical as well as phase equilibria. So chemical reaction equilibria, it is nothing but, you can say, it is very useful in chemical reactions, and phase equilibria, it is for separation processes. Then concept of fugacity, that will be discussed. Then activity coefficient, as discussed earlier, that defines the deviation from ideality. Then we have excess property, a residual property already we have in unit number 1. So that is again, residual property is a difference between, you can say, actual minus ideal gas property. That is the residual property, and from that you can calculate fugacity coefficient. So which will tell about the deviation from ideal gas. And here we are looking for excess properties. Excess property is nothing but it is a difference between your actual and uh, ideal solution properties. Yeah, such as, you can say, actual gives energy minus ideal gives energy, ideal solution gives energy. So that is nothing but your excess gives energy, right? But this is very important in calculation of VLE, vapor liquid equilibrium. Generally gives energy, excess gives energy. It has a great application in the calculation of activity coefficient, and will have relation between this excess gives energy and activity coefficient, and no doubt then activity coefficient can be calculated by using different models as we have discussed in earlier slides. So that will be, you can say, Margol's equations, then Van Laar equations, UNIVAC, NRTL, right? So these are different models, thermodynamic models for the calculation of activity coefficient, and there this role of excess property is very important. And no doubt why you are calculating, why you are using this model, that is for calculation of activity coefficient. And there is activity coefficient as we have discussed earlier. So that will be such as, you can say, YIP is equal to XI PI saturated. So that is your Raoult's law. So here on right hand side we are adding that activity coefficient. That means here this equation will be modified as YIP is equal to XI PI saturated and gamma I. So this is your modified Raoult's law. And no doubt Raoult's law will not tell about non-ideality in liquid solutions, but modified Raoult's law will tell, because we are adding some non-ideality component on the right hand side. But no doubt if we have activity coefficient is equal to 1, so that can be converted into simple Raoult's law. So solution will be ideal solution there. So this has, that means excess property has this type of application. So that is again very important. So coming back again, now we'll start this first topic of this particular module or unit. So that will be fundamental property relation, and here uh, already we have discussed one relation, that is relation between Gibbs energy and temperature and pressure for closed system. Closed system, that means no matter, that means no mass transfer across the boundary. So composition remains same in that particular closed system, so there is no change in composition here. So that means it will not talk about change in composition, so total number of moles in that particular system will be constant here. So relation is very simple. So del Ng is equal to del that NV dP minus ns dt, same equation what we have seen in previous slide. So that slide it is already here. So if you see this dg is equal to vdp minus s dt, so here what we have done, this is for 1 mole n equal to 1, but this equation what it is proposed here, so that is n equal to some value, right? So n is equal to total number of moles present in that system, and this equation that is applicable for single fluid phase in a closed system. It is not for multiple phases, right? Without chemical reaction where composition is constant. So if you do this if you partially differentiate this, so and now in this equation if you keep temperature is constant and number of moles present in the system are constant, so this equation is modified like this. So NV is equal to del Ng by del P at constant temperature and pressure. So it is a partial differential here you will get. And second, if you keep pressure constant, so equation will be modified as del Ng by del T is equal to minus Ns. So here based on this particular equation you can calculate volume and then entropy. These are the thermodynamic properties, but this is for constant composition system for closed system. So here subscript is a total number of moles of that all chemical species present in that system. So that is kept constant here. Again, going further, when we are talking about solution thermodynamics, it is kind of something open system where mass material may exchange with other phases. So this is possible here. So in this case, then this Gibbs energy will not be a function of temperature and pressure alone. What you have seen in previous case, here we have it is a function of pressure and temperature, but here it will be a function of pressure, temperature and number of moles of all individual species present in the system. So you will have this particular function, so where Ni is the total number of moles of species I, and if you apply this particular equation for single phase fluid in a closed system without this is apply closed system without chemical reaction where composition is constant. So okay, here composition is constant, that is only thing, that is Ng is changing with pressure and temperature, that is for first case only. And when composition is getting changed, so here this will be different now. So the total differential if you see, so that you must have studied this in mathematics. So dng is equal to first term is partially differentiated with temperature. That means here we are looking for effect of temperature on Gibbs energy, keeping temperature and total number of moles constant. And second term is nothing but we are looking for effect of pressure on Gibbs energy, keeping temperature and number of moles constant. And then last term that deals with change in composition, and that means if you change the number of moles of particular species, and we have to see the effect of that change in number of moles on Gibbs energy change or Gibbs energy present. So keeping pressure, temperature and number of moles of other species kept constant. So likewise if you differentiate this like I is equal to 1, I is equal to 3, 2, 3, 4, Ni, so it will be like different terms you will get. That means del Ng by del M1, del Ng by del 2, del N2, del Ng by del N3, like that it will continue. So that's why that summation sign will be there. So we are adding this together where I is equal to 1 to capital N. So capital N is total number of moles present here. Here in this term Gibbs energy is getting changed with respect to Ni, that means number of moles of I species. So here J indicates except I, that is kept constant. So if you see this last term here, This is nothing but change in Gibbs energy with respect to number of moles of ith species, and which is equivalent to chemical potential. So chemical potential is defined like this. So you can say partial properties you have not studied, but that will come after this particular topic. So it is called as chemical potential is nothing but your partial Gibbs energy. So it will talk about how Gibbs energy is contributing in that particular solution when there is a change in number of moles of ith species, right? So that is the contribution what we are talking about. So this is denoted by symbol mu I, so which is nothing but our chemical potential, and this is very important, remember. So chemical potential, it is useful in defining phase equilibria, chemical reaction equilibria, and based on that many relations can be developed afterwards. So keep in mind this particular relation is very important, and we have to see that how it comes. So simply you can keep this in mind, that is chemical potential of ith species is partial Gibbs energy of ith species. So again coming back to this particular equation, first two derivatives where del Ng by del T at constant pressure and temperature, we have defined this earlier. So that is nothing but your uh, NV, and then second is replaced by minus NS. So equation is defined like this. So del Ng is equal to del NV, that is del P minus del NS del T, and then that del Ng by del N term, it is replaced by chemical potential. So simple fundamental property relation for single phase fluid system with variable mass and composition is possible here. So this is a fundamental property relation where we have considered change in composition, and we have seen the effect of that particular composition, and that particular equation will tell about that. That means how Gibbs energy depends on change in pressure, change in temperature, and change in composition here. So this is a fundamental relation, and remember this relation is very useful because many calculation, many derivations are based on this. So again, if you simplify this particular correlation for special case, when you put n equal to 1, then Ni is replaced by Xi, because Xi is nothing but Ni upon n, that is number of moles of ith species divided by total number of moles, that is a mole fraction of ith species. So when I am putting n equal to 1, so this particular simple that particular previous fundamental property relation, it is converted into the simple equation, that is dg is equal to v dp minus s dt plus summation of mu I dxi. With this particular relation can be obtained as what we have done in earlier, that relation what Ng is a function of pressure, temperature, and all different number of moles of different species. So similarly here we can consider G is a function of temperature, pressure, no doubt it will be there, and then mole fraction of every species present in that particular system. So if you simplify, you can calculate volume, that is by differentiating that Gibbs energy with respect to pressure partially, keeping temperature and composition constant, and no doubt entropy also can be calculated. So that is again very simple case. So here we are calling Gibbs energy as a canonical function, because it is also called a generating function here. So why it is? Because once we define this Gibbs energy, we can calculate different thermodynamic properties which are in relation with Gibbs energy. So the simple example it is provided here. So okay, enthalpy is equal to Gibbs energy plus Ts. So already we have discussed S calculation. So yes, already we have done that, can be replaced here. And if you have Gibbs energy, so that can be added. Small mistake here. So it will be T G minus T multiplied by del G by del T at constant pressure and X. So this is, you can say, all about fundamental property relation. So here we have to keep this in mind. Here we have to see solution thermodynamics is dealing with change in temperature, pressure, and composition. So when you are talking about solution thermodynamics, so actual processes are there, different processes in chemical engineering, as discussed. So where composition change is there, and we are taking this in consideration here while deriving this particular equation, fundamental property relation. And one important term we got here, that is chemical potential. Chemical potential is nothing but, you can say, partial uh, gives energy, right? Which is del Ng by uh, del Ni at constant pressure, temperature, and Nj is kept constant, that is other than Ni. So that is again kept constant here. So this is all about fundamental property relation. Uh, this is very simple. And again, going further, how this particular fundamental property relation is applicable in chemical engineering system. So, or you can say, first you can say vapor liquid equilibrium, and how this chemical potential plays very important role in vapor liquid equilibrium. Now if you see this particular diagram here, so here the complete circle is nothing but your vapor liquid system, and we can assume this is in equilibrium, keeping temperature and pressure constant here, and vapor is in equilibrium with liquid. But how you can say this is in equilibrium with liquid? So here net transfer of molecule is equal to 0. So if you now we have seen the fundamental property relation for single phase fluid, right, with variable composition. That is del Ng dNg is equal to NV dP minus NS dt, that is summation of mu I dNi. So this is applicable for single phase. We have seen this. Now if you consider this closed system, which is represented in diagram, there are two phases. One is vapor and liquid. Now vapor phase is open system. Why? Because number of molecules, different molecules are getting transferred from vapor phase to liquid, as well as some molecule will be transferred from liquid phase to vapor. So it is exchanging mass or moles with liquid phase. So as discussed earlier in thermodynamics, this type of systems are called as open system. So similarly, your liquid is also open system, because it is also exchanging mass moles with vapor phase. But combinedly these are closed system, because that complete circle will not allow to transfer mass from that system or to that system, because it is, you can say, rigid boundary here, which will not allow to transfer mass outside that particular system that is surrounding here. So in this case, if you apply, and no doubt we have seen this fundamental property relation for single phase fluid. Now if we apply this fundamental property relation for you can say separately for vapor phase, because it is also single phase, and liquid phase, because it is also a single phase. Now if you see this, you can say alpha as treated as vapor phase and beta as treated as liquid phase. So alpha, so you can put that fundamental property relation for vapor phase, that is alpha phase, you can say, which is defined here, because only thing is same relation here, it is superscript with alpha, so it will denote alpha there. So we have chemical potential for alpha phase also for ith species. And similarly for liquid phase, I can denote this liquid phase as beta phase. So it is given here del Ng dNg beta is equal to NV beta dP NS minus NS beta dt plus summation of mu I beta dNi beta. So these are the two relations which are written for these two single phase systems, right, with variable composition it is taking place. And when you are talking about this complete closed system, vapor plus liquid, so that is closed system here. So then there is no change in mass, in closed system, because it is a total vapor, total liquid added together. So total number of moles will remain constant there. It will not change definitely. So that is closed system. So if I add vapor plus liquid here, so then it will be you can say closed system. So it is represented here. So here total system property, it is expressed by equation in the form of Nm is equal to Nm alpha plus Nm beta. So M is any property. So this is applicable for every property. Remember one more. So you can replace M with different thermodynamic properties that we have studied. So if you add this together, so Nm. So if you see this left hand side, del Ng alpha and dNg beta, if you add this together, this is a total Gibbs energy of that closed system. So it will be replaced by dNg, right? So this plus this, and here del Nv alpha, then Nv alpha and Nv beta, and this is in bracket added together, and dp. So this is again Nv dp. So it is again simple. And then if you add this together, minus ns alpha dt minus ns beta dt. So here minus dt you can take out common, and in bracket you will have ns alpha plus ns beta. So this is again, it is in analogous with this equation. So the m is replaced by s like that only. So you will get ns dt here, and final these two terms are simply added together, right? Here these two terms are added together. That is summation of mu I alpha dni alpha plus summation of mu I beta dni beta. These are added together. But we have seen for closed system, we have simple relation, that is dNg is equal to Nv dp minus ns dt. This is simple relation we have. So whatever additional terms, that is summation terms here, there is no use of that. So we have to remove those terms. That means we have to set these summation terms equal to 0. Then and then only simple relation you will have, that is dNg is equal to NvdP minus nsdt. That is for closed system. So these two summation terms are equated to 0 here. Summation of mu I alpha dni alpha plus summation of mu I beta dni beta is equal to 0. Now one more fundamental here. If number of moles are lost by liquid phase, that is gained by vapor phase, or number of moles gained by vapor lost by vapor phase, it is gained by liquid. That means whatever exchanges there in between vapor and liquid phase only, that is alpha and beta phase. So simple relation you can have here, that is dni alpha, that means change in number of moles of alpha phase is a negative change in number of moles of beta phase. That means one phase is losing, another phase is gaining. So this simple relation we have, and that can be added here. So dni alpha dni beta is replaced with dni alpha minus dni alpha, and so simple relation you will have, that is mu I alpha minus mu I beta, this in bracket, and then dni alpha is equal to 0. Now here dni alpha is independent and arbitrary, so number of moles cannot be 0 here. Number of moles is present in system, these are there, so change is there. That's why we have written this fundamental property relation for solution thermodynamics, where composition change is there. So you cannot set dni alpha is equal to 0. So we have to set this mu I alpha minus mu I beta is equal to 0, and from that you will have the simple correlation at the end, that is mu I alpha is equal to mu I beta. That is a simple correlation. That means chemical potential of ith species for alpha phase and chemical potential of ith species for beta phase, both are same for I equal to 1 to n. These are the number of species present in the system. So this is called as criteria for phase equilibrium. That is, you can say phases vapor, liquid, solid, right? So from that, no doubt this will be applicable for vapor liquid equilibrium, then Then liquid-liquid equilibrium, that is such as oil and water phase. So these are that may be in equilibrium if you keep temperature and pressure constant there, and it is possible you can attain equilibrium there. Then we have solid liquid, that is a crystallization process where crystal formation is there, or you can say you are adding sugar in uh, you can say water. Keep adding the sugar, so one point will give it a saturation, right? So so we have to see that means chemical potential of that species in alpha phase and beta phase, that should be same. That may be for solid liquid or solid solid, or you can say liquid liquid or solid gas, or gas liquid, so or vapor liquid. So this is applicable there. So that's why this is very important, right? This phase equilibrium calculation, and no doubt this will be very useful in your mass transfer, that is phase equilibrium, because you are in mass transfer, you are dealing with separation of different components, right? And you will come across with vapor liquid, vapor liquid liquid, where organic phase is coming into picture. So best example, you can see ethanol water system. So it forms the azeotrope, right? So for the separation of this azeotrope, we are using benzene as an entrainer. So when you are adding benzene as an entrainer, actually this comes under residue curve map. So recently it is well developed. I will explain this in coming lecture, that residue curve map, how it will be constructed. And there you can see vapor phase is also there, and liquid liquid, because this benzene and water plays very important role in forming this vapor liquid 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 uh, phases. And role of ethanol is, if you add more ethanol there, then you may turn into homogeneous one, and but if ethanol is less, then it may be a heterogeneous phases. That means forming two liquid phases here. So this is you can say different applications you will find. And if you generalize this equation for pi phases, as we have studied in phase rule where we are calculating number of degrees of freedom, right? So this is nothing but your difference between number of variables and number of equations, right? And that will tell about degrees of freedom. That is simply simple differences, number of variables and number of equations, which are independent equation, no doubt that will be. And that will tell about degrees of freedom. And in that we have seen that pi is a number of phases there. So if you see number of phases are pi, so that is generalized as mu I alpha is equal to mu I beta is equal to that continue till mu I phi. So this is for multiple phases at same temperature. No doubt temperature and pressure should be same there. If they change temperature and pressure slightly, so your equilibrium will shift, right? So for such cases, your temperature and pressure should be constant. Uh, and this is simple relation. This will tell. So here we are seeing chemical potential of each species that will be same in all phases. It is not only I means one, two, all components chemical potential is same in different phases when they are in equilibrium. So here I will end today's lecture. So we have seen starting with scope of topic to be studied in this particular module or unit, right? All important here. Then scope of solution thermodynamics, how this is different than constant composition homogeneous fluid, because we are looking for uh, property change, thermodynamic property change with change in composition, and no doubt temperature and pressure also. Then different examples, that is scope of thermodynamics we have seen. Then we have derived fundamental property relations, that is for single phase fluid with change in composition. Uh, so this already we have discussed, and we have introduced new term here, that is chemical potential, which is partial gives energy, which has a great application further. And then we have seen, as we have discussed, chemical potential as a criteria for phase equilibrium, right? So can be applicable for vapor liquid equilibrium, liquid liquid equilibrium, vapor liquid liquid equilibrium, solid liquid equilibrium, right? So these are some examples. And why you are studying this? Because it has great application in chemical reaction engineering, mass transfer operation, mixing processes. These are some examples that will have. Then no doubt. So we have seen this. So thank you. Uh, we'll study the remaining part in next lecture. And if you have any queries, you can discuss with me after this lecture, or you can mail me, or on online session we can discuss this. Thank you.